Today, we're going to take a look at the most expensive Pokemon card auctions of the week. This list is brought to you by PWCC Marketplace, or as they now go by, Fanatics Collect. And this is for the weekly auction lot number 138, which I think at this point would have been last Sunday, if I'm correct. We're going to take a look at the top 15 most expensive Pokemon card auctions. Let's go ahead and take a look at that list right now. So starting off the list at number 15, we have a 2007 Pop Series 5 holographic Espeon Gold Star, which scored a PSA 8 near mint to mint. As you know, I'm a huge Gold Star fan. I'd love to have as many as I can get in my collection. Currently that number is 0, but maybe one day I'll actually start collecting them. But let's take a look at this Espeon here, as it does claim to be an 8. So the front in of itself looks pretty good. Again, as per always, it's pretty tough to tell if there's any markings on the front of it unless it's very obvious, especially during the scan, because we don't know what's on the case and what's on the actual card. The back in of itself, you can definitely tell there's a little bit of whitening in the up left corner over here. Same thing with the bottom edges. Overall, I would say it definitely deserves an 8. I've seen cards with this sort of damage get higher, so I am glad that it got an 8, I guess, right? Just to uphold the proper standards. Overall, it sold for $3,720 and received 31 bids. Then in number 14, we have a 2000 Pokemon movie first appearance hologram Lugia. This scored a BGS 8.5 near mint to mint plus. So what's really cool about this is technically not a WotC or Nintendo kind of themed card, right? This isn't the classic kind of Pokemon card. It's a promo card that you got at the movie theaters, and it looks completely different. It's very cool. Let's take a look at it. So the nice part about BGS is we can actually see the subgrades. So you have centering 9.5, edges 7.5, corners 8.5, and the surface is a 9. Looking at the front, it's going to be pretty hard to tell, especially with how reflective this specific card is, but it is a very nice card nevertheless. And then in the back, you have this beautiful Pokemon the Movie 2000 first appearance hologram card, 1 of 6. Absolutely wonderful. This sold for $3,840 and received a total of 30 bids. Then up next, we have a 1999 base set Shadowless holographic Charizard, which scored a PSA mint 9. We've seen countless Charizards already. Let's take a look at this one. The front looks pretty good. Everything looks pretty solid. There could be some hollow foil scratching that we can't see. Like, I don't know what this is over here. I don't know if this is actually scratching or if that's on the case or if it's just the scan in itself. And then we look at the back. Now, this is where it gets tricky. We see there's a lot of whitening in the top edge. I don't know what this white speck is. I don't know if that is just some pretty bad damage to the card or if that's on the scan itself. But yeah, I mean, overall, if this is part of the card, I think that kind of, to me, would be more grounds for an 8 than a 9, but that's just my opinion. This sold for $3,960 and received a total of 33 bids. Up next, we have the 2020 Japanese Sword and Shield promo winner hyper rare Charizard VMAX. Definitely a mouthful. Now, I'm going to be honest, unless I'm missing something here, I'm not entirely familiar with what the difference between this Charizard VMAX is and the one that would say come out of Champion's Path. Maybe the one from Champion's Path, there's kind of a different history to it for the Japanese version. I don't know if I already said it, but this scored a PSA 10. Let's take a closer look at it. So yeah, maybe perhaps this came from some sort of competition or promo. I don't really see anything to market otherwise. If you know exactly how this card is, how it came to be, what its history is, I'd love to know. I don't know how this is any different from, say, a Champion's Path version, unless Champion's Path, the Japanese version, does not exist for the TCG. I have no idea. I actually genuinely do not know. But overall, this sold for $4,920 and received a total of 30 bids. Then up next, we have a 2010 Japanese promo Shiny Present Holo Suicune, which scored a PSA Gem Mint 10. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at it. So here it is. This is obviously from the Heart Gold Soul Silver era, but this in of itself, I don't believe is actually a Heart Gold and Soul Silver card, as it seems to be some sort of promo card potentially, but I don't know. I'll have to take a closer look. The nice part about this sort of series, by the way, 10 looks great. Usually with the Japanese card backing, it's hard to tell, and it's made of steel, so they hold up really nicely. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to tell for me personally. Okay, well, it is a promo card. It literally says it there. But especially with these older cards, I don't know. It's just, I learn a lot, and I see these new cards that I've never seen before. Some are reoccurring, so I know the lore behind them, but certain ones too, I don't know, they're just brand new to me. Anyways, this sold for $4,920 and received a total of 20 bids. Up next, we have a 2012 Pokemon Black and White Plasma Storm holographic full art Lugia EX, which scored a PSA 10 Gem Mint. PSA Gem Mint 10. I said that weird, but let's go ahead and take a closer look at it. So what I really like about the Black and White era that I think is unique, and I'm glad they didn't overdo, is the blue borders, are the blue borders. So obviously that represents a Team Plasma card. This Lugia EX is a Team Plasma, I guess, kind of themed card, and I kind of wish they did that for the Scarlet and Violet era. Maybe with, say, gray borders or something. I don't know. I think they changed it up a lot to the point where it just feels like a completely different sort of game now. But anyways, I digress. Lugia EX looks good on the front and honestly looks pretty good on the back. Again, it's hard to tell what's on the scanner, what's not. The corners don't look so bad. The edges aren't looking so bad either. I guess it's a 10. I don't know if it's a weak 10, but it's definitely a 10. Sold for $5,040 and received a total of 32 bids. Up next, we have the 2016 Japanese XY Promo Special Box Full Art Mario Pikachu, which scored a PSA 10. We've seen this one countless times before. It's definitely one of a fan favorite promo card. It's one of my favorite promo cards, to be honest with you. Wish I could get this one, but I do realize how expensive it is. It is Pikachu dressed up as Mario, and there's obviously some Mario symbolism in the back. You have this Mario Pikachu stamp in the bottom right corner. This card is fantastic, and every time it pops up, it's usually pretty expensive. Looks good for a 10. Again, Japanese card backing, no complaints. Sold for $5,520 and received a total of 29 bids. Up next, we have a 2004 EX Team Rocket Returns holographic Torchic Gold Star, which was autoed, so it got a, I guess, autograph. It technically didn't get a grading, but I guess it was sent in for some sort of authentication. So it was signed by Masakazu Fukuda. Don't want to teeter too much with that one. Yeah, I'm not familiar with who Masakazu is, but I think maybe he's the illustrator for this card, probably. Maybe if I took a closer look. Yeah, I literally see it right there. He is the illustrator of this card, which is awesome. And yeah, I mean, let's take a look. I mean, there's not really much of a grade, but we have, yeah, I mean, you have the Charizard here. Sorry, I actually don't know. The Rayquaza, excuse me. Fake fan, and then this is his signature. Honestly, it looks really good, but there's no grade, so we don't really have to look too close. Sold for $5,520 and received a total of 31 bids. Then up next, we have a 2016 Japanese XY 20th Anniversary Festa holographic Pikachu, which scored a PSA Gem Mint 10. We've seen this one come up countless times before as well. It's cool that these are reoccurring. I guess if you see these in the wild, you kind of know that they have some value to them, right? Not that you ever would see these in the wild. I guess like a convention, if you see them at a convention, then, or something like that, a card shop, then yeah, that would be your best bet. But you're probably not going to go to a garage sale and find this. But looks good. I believe it's a PSA 10. Sold for $7,200 and received a total of 27 bids. Then the sixth most expensive Pokemon card auction to be coming out of this lot is the 2008 Diamond and Pearl Stormfront holographic Charizard, which scored a PSA Gem Mint 10. This one is pretty cool. I think it's a secret rare if I remember correctly, and it is supposed to obviously mimic that of the base set Charizard, except this one came out in the Diamond and Pearl era, so it's pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, you can see the artwork is obviously different, but they revamped it. Whoever the artist of this one is, I can't quite see if it says anywhere on this card, but probably I'm missing it. Anyways, looks like a great card. Scored a PSA 10. Looking at the back, it's not bad. Bottom left, or sorry, top left corner, a little bit of whitening. Same thing with top right, but not horrible. Probably deserves a 10. Sold for $7,500 and received a total of 24 bids. All right, we're now in the top 5. We have a 1997 Pokemon Japanese Top Sun Blueback No Number Charizard CGC 10 Gem Mint. This has a CGC population 1 of 6. So I do wonder if that no number is supposed to be an error of some kind. I'm not too familiar with the Top Sun cards. We've seen them pop up before while doing this series, but honestly I haven't really kind of come across this no number sort of reading here. But anyways, yeah, this is the Top Sun card. It's kind of meant to be similar to what the Pokedex, I guess, would kind of display. This is a blue back. I believe there's a green back, and it actually could be coming up. sooner than later. I know there's some spicy ones up ahead, but overall, pretty good looking card. Hard to tell condition on this one too, just due to how the card is and how the back kind of has this white overtone. Sold for $7,500 and received a total of 40 bids. Alright, at number 4, and this one might be one of my favorites because, as you may or may not know, I actually love to collect full art X and Y era cards. This is the 2017 Pokemon Japanese XY promo, special case Team Rocket. Scored a PSA Gem Mint 10. Essentially, there was, this awesome case that came out. It was a Team Rocket case. You have this card, and then I know there's a Giovanni card in there too. I don't quite remember what it's called. Might just be Giovanni. I doubt it. But anyways, there's a few promo cards in there. They all look fantastic. They are amazing. This one scored a PSA 10, and if this was case fresh, I can definitely see it scoring a PSA 10 for sure. So yeah, I mean, this is the front. You have Jesse James Meowth. Fantastic stuff. Looking at the back, and of course it's Japanese, right? So therefore, the backing is amazing. Sold for $9,000 and received 40 bids. Moving on to the third most expensive Pokemon card auction coming from this weekly lot, we have the 1996 Japanese Bandai Cardass Vending Prism Charizard, number 6. Scored a PSA Gem Mint 10. I think we might have come across some of these cards before. I don't quite remember though, like the vending Cardass kind of stuff sounds familiar, but maybe it wasn't the Prism stuff. I don't quite fully recall, but I guarantee you, similar to the Top Sun cards, the Bandai sort of Cardass vending cards are going to be hard to tell as well, just on condition. But again, similar to the Top Sun, it kind of acts, well, this one even more so, acts as a Pokedex. This is kind of like an in-game Pokedex for what you do for, I guess, Fire Red, Leaf Green, Yellow, etc., right? Green version, red version, I guess not Fire Red and Leaf Green, but anyways, looks really nice though. Very, very nostalgic, very aesthetic. Sold for $9,900 and received a total of 35 bids. Then the second most expensive card is another 1996 Japanese Bandai Cardass Vending Prism Charizard. This one's red though, so I guess there's a difference between red and green potentially for popularity, or maybe there's a color match, right? Because Charizard is kind of this orange. Well, it's orange, right? But I guess closer to red, so therefore color match between the red and orange. Scored another PSA Gem Mint 10, sold for $10,500, received 35 bids. I doubt there's going to be anything different on the back, but we can take a look at that anyways if this decides to load. Yeah, kind of the same idea still, but overall a very pretty card. And then the most expensive Pokemon card auction of the week coming from this lot is the 2017 Sun and Moon Black Star promo Ishihara GX. This scored a PSA 6, so excellent to mint. And I mean, this card is very difficult to come by. I don't recall the exact lore. Ooh, there's even a video. Take a look at that. That's cool. I don't know what the point of this video is, but I guess maybe they're just showcasing the card. I don't know. Pretty cool. I guess that helps, right? In terms of trying to make the sale, just to show what the card looks like. Maybe, if we were to take a look at the full screen, maybe we can even see, where certain things would go wrong, I guess, with the backing, why it got a 6 if it decides to load, but we'll see. This is brought to you by Vimeo, actually. So yeah, here we are. Yeah, you could definitely see the back is nice and beat up. So yeah, I mean, that probably comes forward in the picture in of itself as well, I'd imagine. I doubt that's something that the scanner can cover up. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it does look a little worse in person, I will say, just the way the light hits it. But yeah, definitely probably deserving of a 6. Anyways, very difficult card to come by. I think this was given out either for his birthday or for some sort of Pokemon themed anniversary. I think it might have been his birthday, or maybe how long he's been to the company. Regardless, there's only a handful of these cards out there. This sold for $18,000 and received a total of 39 bids. So that concludes the weekly auction lot number 138, brought to you by PWCC Marketplace or Fanatics Collect. These are the most expensive Pokemon card auctions of the week, the top 15. I'd love to know your thoughts on the cards down below, and until next time, I'll catch you in the next one.